Hey, we're live. Hello. Today, we are going to talk about how we can practice the guitar more, how we can get playing more. If you're stuck and not practicing the right things, or you feel like you're just not getting some motion, especially with your scales and all that tough stuff you have to work on. Today, we're going to talk about that, what you can do to get over it and get yourself moving on the guitar. I have a strange Colgate habit for you. And also we're going to talk about the 2-minute rule. So most of this is down to actually getting motion going on the guitar. So when I think about what it takes to get practicing more, or sometimes people focus on practicing more efficiently. And I think practicing more efficiently is like a secondary issue to practicing more. Obviously, if you're practicing like 5-10 hours a day, good on you, then you should probably learn to practice more efficiently, because you can do in like a couple of hours, 3 hours, more work than you can if you're doing a lazy man's 5, right? But the reality is on the guitar, if you're doing no practice, or you're doing only 20 minutes of practice, or like there's barely anything happening, then practicing more is often where it's at. Like the more time you put in, there is a result from that. So there's a law of diminishing returns. But I don't believe that you can do no practice and get better at the guitar. It just doesn't work like that. That's not how life is, unfortunately. Work is important. So this is about getting yourself into motion, and we all fall in and out of motions. Life goes in cycles. You're going to have times where you have loads of practice going on. You're going to have times where you have less going on. But these are cornerstone habits that you can do. And it's all about getting the river flowing. So practicing and getting yourself in a motion, in a habit of practicing, is about getting that river flowing. And then once it's heading in the right direction, you can redirect the water to go to the right places. But if it's all dried up and there's no practicing happening, nothing's going on. So what I'm going to talk about today is a couple of things that I learned from a really, really good book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. I don't have an affiliate link to sell you this book. Maybe I should do that. But great book. It's absolutely massive for a self-help book. It's about 300 pages. But there's 2 things in there that I think apply really well to guitar. And we're going to jump into them. So the first one is what I call the Colgate habit. He doesn't mention Colgate in there, but I think it's the cool idea of, Colgate for your guitar. It's called habit stacking. So the idea is that you take something that you already do every day and you attach your guitar playing to it. So for instance, it could be, this is the Colgate example. It could be before I brush my teeth, I practice guitar. Or after I brush my teeth, I practice guitar. So every time you brush your teeth, you practice guitar. But you could attach it to anything that you already do. So it could be when I wake up, I practice guitar. You write down what that is, and then you live that and you build it in. And so you start by doing that, and we'll come to how much practice you should do with that. But it's about the habit being more important than the amount of time. So even though this is all about how to practice more, most of practicing more for most people is practicing more regularly. So if you find yourself missing days throughout the year, although you might do a 2-hour practice once a week, because of the ebbs and flows of that, you're better off doing 2, 5, 10 minutes a day. When it comes to the end of the year, that's a huge amount more practice than a few kind of big, long sessions. And you'll find your progress really kind of snowballs. So yeah, Colgate for your guitar playing. Try and attach it to something for yourself. I've got people to attach it for dinner. I've got people to attach it to like when I walk past my guitar. I practice a bar chord. That's quite a good one if someone's trying to get good at bar chords. And then you put the guitar in the middle of the house, and every time you have to walk past your guitar, you have to practice the bar chord once. So yeah, I think that's kind of a fun way to get yourself in, but you attach it to something you already do. So I practice guitar in the mornings. So in the mornings, like I do my work first thing. That's the first thing I do. And then I tidy. Actually, I do like washing up in the kitchen. This is like me at 7:30. And then I play guitar. I practice guitar immediately after that in the living room. And that's just kind of my day. And it has been my day for quite a long time now. So the next thing is the 2-minute rule. So once you've got your strange Colgate idea, whatever that is for you, you're going to do a 2-minute rule. And so the 2-minute rule is, it's about once that habit's installed at a particular time, or you have a rule for yourself when you're going to do it, then you do a minimum of 2 minutes. Now, this 2-minute thing, it doesn't have to be 2 minutes, but it's basically trying to keep it a really short amount of time that, on those days where you just don't want to do it, you kind of force yourself to go, okay, I'm just going to do 2 minutes because this is who I am. I practice guitar at this time. And you'll find it becomes very easy for that to creep up. Now, with some people who find it easy to do 2 minutes and then continue, you just continue. But if you're really, really in a rut, then I would agree with this. James Clear says this is me, but he says you want to do 2 minutes, like maximum. You only allow yourself 2 minutes. So then like the timer goes off, cut off, you're done. And that's all you're allowed for the day. So if you're really in a rut and you're really struggling to pick up the guitar, then you like only allow yourself 2 minutes and you force yourself as a hard out. That 2 minutes, instead of 2 minutes, you could replace that through, I'm going to play through this song once, or I'm going to play through this scale once. Whatever that 2 minutes, like an example for reading would be read 1 page rather than 2 minutes. But it's about having that small thing that you do, installing the habit in, and you'll find that this grows over time. So I've been practicing guitar every day for pretty consistently for a long time now, but I hadn't been reading consistently very much. So I stuck a kind of habit in my life this year for reading, and I gave myself a 2-minute rule. So it's 1 page a day at that time. And the thing is, when you start doing something, you get in a habit with it, you might as well do a little bit more. And I think I've now read 23 books so far this year, and we're in March. And it's not something that felt like I was pushing for it. It's not something I'm doing. Some are fiction, some are non-fiction, wide variety of things. It's just because I have a rule that I read. And so I would try this for your guitar playing. Colgate, 2-minute rule. And I hope that you see some results from it, because I know I have, and I know several of my students had too. So yeah, anyway, hope you enjoyed. This one's not specifically on the fretboard, but for all my scales people and my fretboard people, apply this to the same fretboard exercises I'm giving you. This is a bit more holistic for the guitar, but I hope you enjoy it anyway. Thanks very much, and I will see you next time. Thanks, guys.